video is going to be my updated everyday makeup routine, because when I did my morning routine not too long ago, all of you guys were like, we want to see your everyday makeup, because I actually did it in that video, just speed it up, and you were all just like, please show us how you do it. So today I'm going to give you a run through of my everyday makeup routine, and hopefully you're gonna enjoy it. I think everyday makeup routines, they have to be fairly simple and fairly easy for you to do, and also they just have to make you feel beautiful. And my new everyday makeup routine, it definitely does all of those things. So without further ado, let me share it with you. First of all, put your hair behind your ears, because we don't want any hair in the makeup or any makeup in the hair. The first product I'm going to use is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. I've been absolutely loving this one lately. I'm not sure if it really prolongs the wear of my makeup, but it just makes my skin feel so much healthier and look healthier, so I really like it, and it feels really refreshing in the morning. And it smells like roses. Oh my god, I love it. Once it's dried down, I'm obviously gonna be using my MAC CC cream in the color Neutralize. You know how much I love this CC cream. It is honestly one of my holy grail products, and I've been using it for years now actually. I just love it so very much for evening out my skin tone and just prepping my skin as well, because it is from the Prep and Prime line from MAC. So it's kind of like a primer as well. At least that's how I feel, because it makes my base very tacky and much more evened out in the skin tone. And one little tip for you guys is always to have some kind of a tissue with you on the side, because I do use my fingers fairly much when I do my makeup, and I don't want to get my clothes ruined with makeup and stuff like that. So I always keep a tissue with me, just to make sure that I can always wipe off any excess makeup. And for foundation, my favorite right now is the Born This Way from Too Faced, and it just gives it kind of like medium to full coverage without looking way too heavy on the skin. It feels very, very natural in a very unnatural way. It's just easy to use and gives me the right amount of coverage that I want. And I'm using my beauty blender to blend it into the skin. And as I said, for my everyday makeup, I really want my skin to look as good as possible. Some people, they want a much more like natural finish. However, I always go for that more medium coverage where you can still see the skin, but it just looks much more like perfect. Your skin, but better. And I also make sure to try to press it up into my hairline, just to make sure there's no edge or anything like that. It just doesn't look cute if you're having your hair up in a ponytail or anything like that, which I often tend to have for work or stuff like that. To conceal any redness or spots or whatever, I'm using the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the color NC25, and I'm just dotting it onto my face wherever I feel like I need some more coverage. And I always feel like I get way too much product out on the back of my hands, so I just try to distribute it as nicely as possible. I don't want to waste any product. And when I've applied all of the concealer on my face, I actually let it sit for like 1 minute approximately, just to let it set actually without blending it in. And while it's just getting a bit more sticky, I'm using the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer under my eyes, just to get rid of any dark circles. And now I'm going to use the Beauty Blender once again. I'm using the pointy tip this time, just to blend in all of the concealer. And you will see now that the coverage of the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer is much higher, because I just let it sit and work its magic for a minute or so. It just gets a bit more sticky and a bit more full coverage on the exact area where I want the coverage. And then also I'm using the Beauty Blender under my eyes, just to blend in the under eye concealer. And I either use my finger or my Beauty Blender, it kind of depends on my mood actually. And then I'm using my Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder, and I'm using it to set my under eye area. So I'm just using my beauty blender to apply the powder. And you've probably seen me do this a million gazillion times now, but it is the very best trick to set your under eye area. And while that is baking away, I'm doing the eyebrows. Firstly, I'm just brushing through them with a spoolie just to make sure that I've got the right direction. And then I'll be using the Brow Pro palette from Anastasia, which is one of my favorite things for my brows. Honestly, it just works wonders. And I'm using the Zoeva, what's it called? Wing liner brush, great for eyebrows as well, 317. And I'm using the color Taupe right there in the middle. I think brows are one of those things that I spend the most time on with my makeup routine because they need to look good. And that's why I always look so freaking serious when I do my brows. It has to be perfect. And now actually, because I am that freaking brow obsessed, I'm actually gonna go back with my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and then I'm just gonna put something on the back of my hand, and then I'm just gonna use it to just touch up around the edges of my brows. And the last final thing that I have to do before I'm done with my brows is to set them, and I'm using the L'Oreal Brow Artist Plumper in the color Medium Dark. And I know you're like, medium dark, what? But I actually like my brows to be a tiny bit more dark right now. And if you don't like it, that's totally fine. I just really think it looks so freaking cool. Obviously they're not supposed to be black, but just a bit more dark brown. I like that. So that is my brows done, and now I'm just gonna use a big powder brush and just swipe away any excess powder. And when talking about eyeshadows and the eyes in general, I am very minimal when it comes to that in my everyday makeup. I'm actually using the Radiant Creamy Concealer from NARS once again as kind of like an eyelid primer, because it's just quick, simple, easy to use, the same product obviously. Blending it in with my finger. And once that is done, I'm gonna set it with the Kat Von D Shade and Light contour palette. I'm using the color here in the middle, the banana-ish shade on my eyelids. I'm just using a MAC 217 blending brush. And in this way, I'm just setting my concealer or primer, whatever you like to call it. And I just really like the shade of this banana powder. Banana! And once I'm done with that, I'm actually going to take this shade here in the middle, and I'm just going to use that in my crease just to warm up my crease and to get a bit more definition. And then I'm just curling the lashes really quickly. I do want the curl from my mascara to last for the entire day, so this is an important step for me. And then I'm using my favorite mascara. You can just use your favorite mascara. My favorite is the Eyelash Sensational Mascara from Maybelline. And as you know with me, I love loads of mascara, so I'm gonna apply loads. Even for my everyday. And for the bottom lashes, I always use something that's a bit more water resistant, and I'm gonna use the MAC Cinematic Play Giga Black Lash Mascara because that is one of the only mascaras that really truly stays on my bottom lashes. And the last thing that I really like doing with the eyes is just to highlight a tiny bit in my inner corners and then under my brows as well. And I'm using the Naked Basics palette from Urban Decay, and I'm using the color called Venus. Just using it ever so slightly, not too much though. We don't want to go overboard when it's just a natural everyday makeup. Natural. Actually, I hate the term natural because what may be natural to me may not be natural to you. We all have different preferences and so on. So the word natural is just like, it is so unnatural, and it's way more difficult for me to tell you this is the natural way of doing it, because you may have a different way of thinking about natural and what is natural to you. So this is more like my kind of natural with makeup on. I hope you get what I mean. So I've zoomed you out, and let's move on to the rest of the makeup and the rest of the face makeup. The thing that I'm going to do now is that I'm going to bronze, because I think that is so important. And the bronzer that I'm going to use is my Bobbi Brown bronzer in the color Golden Light. It's just great for warming up the complexion without looking orange or way too much or way too little. And for my everyday makeup, I don't really tend to contour that much. And if I do contour a tiny bit, I actually just do it with my bronzers, just to give a bit more of an edge to my look. However, I don't really do too much contouring on an everyday basis because I'm sometimes just really lazy. And for a bit more glow, I'm gonna use the Elizabeth Arden Pure Finish Summer Escape Bronzing Powder in the color Warm Glow. And this one is a bit more shiny and shimmering and beautiful, and yeah, I just really like it because it's got this goldy undertone in it, and it looks so freaking amazing on the cheeks. And last step is obviously the lips, and I'm gonna use the shade that I use all the freaking time. It is just my go-to lip color, if I must be honest. It is from Anastasia, and it's the liquid lipstick called Pure Hollywood. What can I say? I love it to the moon and back. It's my favorite color for my lips. It just looks so pretty, so pink, so natural, so not natural, so perfect. And because it is a liquid lipstick, it just stays on for the entire day almost. It is so quick, simple, easy to wear, and once you get used to that kind of like dry texture on your lips, you will absolutely love it. And actually, as kind of like an extra step in my makeup routine and with my lips and so on, I actually like to get a bit more of a creamy texture, and therefore I use the MAC Blankety lipstick. And it's actually a really good idea to wear a lipstick on top of your liquid lipstick if you've got very dry lips. There is no bigger science behind it really. It is very straightforward, and the eyes are very simple, the lips and the cheeks and so on are very simple, but everything just goes so nicely together. And to me this is a perfect like everyday natural, once again get what I mean with natural, everyday makeup that you can wear for school, for work, wherever you go, because it is not too noticeable but it's still there. So hopefully you found this helpful and inspirational, and if you did, remember to give it a huge thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you've got any video requests like an updated brow routine or a mascara routine, whatever kind of routine, let me know because I really want to do it. And this was just my basic overall makeup routine, everyday makeup routine. So thank you so very much for watching. I love you all so much. Bye!